Welcome to Two Tired Teachers, coming at you from
Mission Tejas State Park and
Ratcliff Lake.
And they're both in, well, Mission Tejas State Park is the very northern part of Davy Crockett National Forest. And they're going to have a new welcome center, but it is a mission, and here we have a replica
of the mission. And inside, you'll notice, pick up a pamphlet from the ranger station because it'll tell you unique things to look for in the mission.
Like the eagle that's there at the front. There's a cross in the rocks on the floor, but I tried to get that. It just didn't show up very well. But they actually use this building.
Yes.
They have, when you meet for hikes or whatever with rangers, they use this facility for that. And so it's just a very neat place. This is our campground.
Yes.
And it is large and spacious.
The campsites are. The campground only has 15, 16, 17 sites.
Yeah, 15 of them have water and electric. But many of those are really small sites. And you'll notice our water and electric are way at the front and on the wrong side for most RVs.
Yes.
And that is something about this park, is that a lot of these sites, and this is the little bitty campground back up in here, a lot of these sites do have the water and electric that are opposite, or it may be set up a little bit different.
So you may need extensions.
And this was the park where we decided we loved that campground and we might need an extension other places, and so we went on and got them. These are the steps going up to the comfort station from that bottom area.
Yes.
And then that's one of the bridges that goes over some of the trails. There are some outstanding trails in this campground. And just a few more of the campsites. Then this is the day use area. And some of the trails. These little sites right here are tent only. These two sites right here at the day use area.
And we're headed back in. There is a little fishing pond, but there's not swimming at this park.
Right, and this is the path that goes across to the little pond. The pond is to the right, but this is a gorgeous path, and the entrance to this path is gorgeous. The part all the way around the lake, this one I didn't hike all the way around the lake on this trip, but you can tell where the path is, but at times it gets a little more overgrown. But just a cool, neat bench there. And then this is, as you're walking out, this was to your right. As I'm walking back, it's to my left, going back to the parking lot. But a nice size little pond.
And a nice playground for a park this size. The restroom, the building here, is one of two in the park. The other is in with they're very close together.
Right, and the campground has one restroom area, and then here at the day use area. This is the group facility here. Last time we were here, I think there was a Boy Scout tribe that was there, and then a family reunion this time. And so, anyway, just giving you an idea. And then this is actually a historic building.
It's the Rice House. The Rice House was built in 1828 in Crockett and was moved to the state park. In this room, I can't tell if this is the one with the blue ceiling or not.
No,
it's not. It's the next one. And it had a blue ceiling because it was thought to ward off wasps.
And it is a neat building, and as you can see, you can actually walk in it. The parts that you can't go to are upstairs. This was the saddlebag.
Saddlebag house, because it had that fireplace in two rooms, and it sort of looked like saddlebags.
And then this is called what did you say it was called?
It's a dog trot, and because of the open airway between the dog trot, it helped for coolness.
I was going to say that was historic air conditioning. That was. And the neat thing about a lot of these areas is literally if they are out in the open, they're going to get a breeze almost any time. And so
in the summer, you can imagine the people cooking, sleeping, whatever there in the dog trot so that it wasn't so hot.
Yeah, now this has the remnants of a blue ceiling there.
Yes.
This is outside under the eaves, just to give you an idea of literally the really rough texture and hand carving on this old house. But it really is neat, and the other side it's parallel. But there is an upstairs area that we don't have access to. Then there was this old buggy. We didn't get any information about it, but I guess it was just kind of a timepiece that someone had donated to the park, to the Texas State Park systems. And so really interesting that goes along with that house. It may have been, but this gives you a better view. See, that upper loft area would be a great place to sleep and get some good ventilation. And once you get back a little bit, you get a better view of that that opening, but that was their means of air conditioning. And then this is the current exit. When we were there, they said the new building was supposed to be open
in April, and they didn't make it.
We were there in May, and so this is the Davy Crockett National Forest area. And this, when you go in, be sure and pick up a trail map.
Yes.
Because the campground map does not include all of the trails. And this is still in Mission Tejas State Park.
Yes.
And we actually hiked on a couple of really nice.
The steep ravine trail was lovely. It was level, even though it said steep ravine. Further down, it may have been steep, but it was great where we hiked.
But this is a very historic trail.
Yes. It ran from maybe San Antonio to Crockett, very historic.
But they do tours. They have rangers that will take you and give you guided tours. And matter of fact, while we were there was a school bus that came and dropped off a bunch of kids, or didn't drop off, they stayed with them, and they went out on one of the tours. And so this is just to give you an idea. It's really kind of diverse. You're in this forest, and then you come to this opening, and these, as you're hiking this trail, it just kind of makes you stop and think about the history that is there and the people that did traverse this path. Okay, these are some pictures from another trail that takes you back up to the front. There's a bird watching area. Then there's this fire tower. This is the remnant of a fire tower that was there. And just some pictures from the trails that we hiked.
Here we are in the Davy Crockett National Forest at the ranger station. They have tons of information. This is some that they gave us.
And then the Ratcliff Lake is their campground for this part.
This is going back to the swim area.
This is their day use area. It is huge. It is gorgeous. It is, and this is self-pay.
Yes.
I think it was $3 a vehicle to get in, and then the campsites were, I think, $20 a night.
Yes.
But if you have the Golden Eagle or whatever, it was $10 a night. So really, really reasonable. But a nice swim area there, and in the past we have swum there.
And in the past, they had alligator warnings.
And so, yeah, we...
the etiquette around gators.
But anyway, they do have 3 fishing piers. The first one that I walked to didn't have the rails around it. Most of them do, and they do have the catch limit here.
At the time we were there, they said not to consume the fish.
But you can go out and enjoy fishing there. However, this is not in the Texas State Park system, so you would need a Texas fishing license if you're going to fish here.
Yes.
If you fish at the pond at Mission Tejas, you don't need a license, and they do have loaner equipment there, I believe. But this shows you across the lake, those are tent sites that are right on the lake. And here in a minute, we're going to drive around and give you a little bit better view. But this was a logging.
Yes, and there's still remnants of a sawmill.
And this is their large pavilion that can be rented for parties and things like that.
But there are no balloons or no confetti because of the wildlife.
Yeah, and they had that posted a number of places in this area in particular, but this I thought was a really gorgeous facility to be able to rent and have your
Yes.
activities there. And then they also do have a amphitheater, and if you love the national park system like we do, you know anything that happens there is going to be really good, informative, and interesting. But you will notice that there is a boardwalk there, and there's several throughout this park. And once again, that's because of the fact that there are gators, some around in this area. Then this is driving back around to
Yes.
the campground that is there.
And some of these sites do not have water, but there is water clearly marked
All
all
throughout.
throughout.
But there are the sites vary based on, I don't remember, I think the ranger said there were only 30 amp, but if it has water and electric, etc. But once again, another gorgeous campground, and neither one of these are extremely large, so if you can't get in one, you might get in the other.
This dispersed camping. This road is rough.
Very rough. And we'll be honest, it was a national forest. We were curious about dispersed camping, so we asked that ranger, and she told us to drive out. And so,
And the sign to the road is not marked.
but anyway,
If you like dispersed camping, there's lots of it. Sharon, what are your final thoughts about Mission Tejas State Historical Park?
that's a mouthful.
Yes, it is.
The fact that this is the first Texas state park that we've made our third trip to
That says a lot.
should tell you that we love this park. And it is absolutely gorgeous. And once before we had the channel and stuff, I tried to make a video to show just how absolutely beautiful this park is. You don't really see all of the hills and stuff. It's one of those things you have to be at,
Yes.
experience it. But this is a place to come and enjoy nature and relax.
There are only 15 sites in this campground.
And want to emphasize again that many of them are set up backwards, if you will. The water and electric may be on the wrong side, like this one, they're on the wrong side and at the front. The campground next to us, the table is on the driver's side instead of the passenger side. But it's beautiful.
Yes, it's worth those minor inconveniences.
And this is the park that, if you've watched Mylina's inspiration, actually I guess it's God's inspiration, but how he worked during the time that Mylina was going through that rough time with her
Retirement.
being retired,
eventually.
eventually. This was just a few days, probably just a week or so after she found out how that was going down and everything. We came here, and she said she was concerned that she might not be able to enjoy it, but you get here and the sun just moved a little bit, so we're in the sun now, but you lean back and this is what you're looking at. It's kind of hard not to relax and enjoy yourself. So,
And it was totally relaxing. It was, it's just that kind of park.
well, and so this does have kind of that a sentimental reason as well, if you will, even though that was just 3 years ago. This is our fourth summer with the RV, so that was 3 summers ago. And so that's a nice memory. We do want to make sure that you know, if you're coming here, make sure you're stocked up before you come. It's probably about 30 miles any direction to get to a real town.
Yes.
And so you don't want to accidentally forget something and need it. But it is a beautiful park, and just at the very northern corner of the Davy Crockett National Forest.
Yes.
And so we've shown you parts of that park and that campground and stuff.
And we'll reiterate, there is no swimming in this park. There is at Davy Crockett.
Let me just go on and tell you. First time we came here, like I said, she was having kind of a rough summer, and so we get over there. We've looked to see that there is swimming. There's a swimming area over there, and it's a self-pay. And so I got out and walked around the back end of the truck, And as I'm walking up to the thing, we hadn't seen it when we drove up, but it has an alligator warning. And so she knew it was taking me a long time just to drop a few bucks in this box. That's because I'm reading all the precautions and what you're supposed to do, and make sure you stay in the swim area, don't get near any kind of vegetation and stuff. And I'm trying to decide, do I tell her and disappoint her that I really don't want to swim with gators? And finally I thought, we got to the swim area, there were people out there with little kids or people all around, and it's sandy where the swim area is. And so I thought, well, we'll use these swim noodles and keep our feet up, and and so she didn't know there were gators there until we left. But not a place that, we don't swimming with gators is not something we want to do. No. We didn't see any, didn't hear of any.
No.
But yeah, so that's why we came before it's actually the middle of the summer, because that's not our swim option this time. But anyway, beautiful part of Texas. Love this part of the state. It is gorgeous. There's a lot of history here, and a lot of beauty just to get out, take a few hikes, sit around your campsite, and get away from the hustle and bustle of everyday life.
Yes.
Thanks for watching Two Tired Teachers.